Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Couples Talk. As usual, I'm joined by my wonderful husband, Joshua.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
very
yes.
much.
We've been doing this for a while, and I must say he's a great co host. And this evening, as usual, we always have a great topic for you. This evening, we decided to take a different angle. We're going to be talking about dating with a purpose. Now, you're wondering, dating with a purpose? What are we talking about? We actually decided to go back. We're talking about pre-marital, where you're going to be dating. Now, a lot of our topics are focused on after marriage, but many persons now who might be looking on are not married. And we figured this is a good way to give them some ideas and thoughts in terms of how you can date with a purpose.
I really intrigued by this whole idea because I've thought of dating coming up. It was just get a chance to meet someone, get to see if we could really stand each other. Can I really, go further with this person? But then this whole idea of dating with a purpose, had me thinking, did I date with a purpose? Was I very casual in some of my dating experiences? And so I'm really looking forward for this discussion. And we are happy to have a beautiful young couple that is dating. And it might be difficult for me to reflect back fully, but I'm sure I could remember. But I think for them, they would be able to, share what is their experience like. And maybe for us, we will try to go back into memory lane and to see what our experience was at that time.
That's a lot of work, but okay.
So let's introduce our couple for this evening. I would like to say welcome to Toni and Stephen. How are you guys doing this evening?
We're doing all right.
We're good.
Thanks for having us.
So we're looking at dating with a purpose, and we've kind of spilled the bean. So our audience is already aware that you guys have been dating. So for us and those that are listening, how long have you guys been dating?
It's like a year and 3 or 4 months. Yeah. Little over a year and 4 months.
I even knows as well.
I like it when the gentleman could actually reflect on time. You see, I'm getting so much redemption for all the missed dates I've had and all the miscalculation I've had. I am seeing that men are still helping redeem me. That if I'm the representation of all men out there, we won't be in trouble. But I'm seeing you guys are helping me pull it back in. So, we have an interesting topic, Sharlene. Let's see if we could get into it. What is it that we want to really unpack with this topic?
The purpose is for persons who are looking on to understand that dating can be with a purpose. They're casual dating, they're dating for purposeful reason, and they're even something referred to as courtship, a term that we don't use very often. So we thought it more intriguing to phrase the topic as dating with a purpose. And I think, if we get the perspective of someone who's dating right now, we kind of highlight the pros and cons, the benefits and stuff of dating. And that dating can actually be fun.
Sharlene, it's an interesting topic. And even before I have our guests jump in, I really need to pose something. And hopefully, you probably will help me answer this question before we end. I recently was reading an article that said, the reason why many young persons can't get a successful relationship because they're taking dating with a purpose too serious. So they have such high regard. Their checklist is so detailed they could never really find anyone to match up, and they end up not being able to get it. They have this statement. They you pick till you pick wrong. So that's my question, and maybe not for you to answer now, but maybe at the end, maybe I might learn some things from this discussion that you might have hopefully answered that question, and we can come back to it. So what's our first question, Sean?
What do you believe dating with a purpose means?
Right, so that's for our guests. And Toni, Stephen, anyone, what do you think? What does this mean to you?
Well, in my humble opinion, I believe dating with a purpose would involve a reason that's more than something superficial. You're dating, and the way you go about it, it shouldn't just be for people to say, "Oh, nice couple," or all they look cute and nice pics for the grams and all of that. That it should go beyond that. And I think in the long run, when you're dating with a purpose, the end goal should be marriage. Else you'll just be wasting time and money like all of it.
Yeah, and added to that, to characterize that a little more, it would look like things not just spiritually, but in terms of like becoming your full potential as an individual in a relationship. So, working together, things just like dealing with trauma. I mean, it would have happened before, but somehow there's certain things that being with the right person, and well, the person who is also reciprocating that purposefulness in the relationship, there is healing that comes in it. So there's a lot that is unpacked in intentionally being in a relationship in purpose.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. Do you think age or where you are in your life plays a part with the notion of being very purposeful during the dating experience?
I don't think it holistically varies with age. I think it really plays a lot on your background and where you would have come from. Your mindset, yes. Even if you have come from a background that wasn't ideal, to say, well, it would have fostered that type of mentality, it's also you could also learn as you go, making a conscious decision to, hey, I want to be purposeful in everything that I do, including in relationships. So it really doesn't matter of age or certain factors to me.
John, what about you? What do you think dating with a purpose mean? I mean, what is your take on this topic?
It actually means having a plan. What it is you want to accomplish in the relationship. Because some persons date casually, hoping it becomes a purposeful relationship. Because when you run in with a casual mindset, but the person that you're dating has a purpose, but you don't communicate, and we see communication comes again, then you have conflict, because then you feel rejected and hurt, because I wanted a casual relationship, they wanted a serious relationship. Then you realize you're not in sync. And then the person who was on the opposite end maybe moves on and dates someone else and gets married, and somebody feels hurt because there was no communication. And when we started dating, I'm only bringing this up just for reference. I had a thought process of what I would like in a spouse. And I had my checklist. But my checklist was interesting because it wasn't like, how some people have some nitty-gritty things that seems a little overwhelming. My first checklist was he must be spiritually minded, because I wanted to be more focused in terms of my spiritual life. So that was my top item. And there were other things, about being a good husband, about being, a good provider to protect me, take care of me, because I wanted to be able to relax and not have to fight so much and have to do all the hard work. So those are the things I wanted. And someone was like, but in your list, you didn't say you want a handsome man. And I said, if I meet a good man and he's not all that physically handsome, in the face, I'll make it work. And they say, you would never do that. I'd say, yeah, no, because I believe God will take care of me. And I'm going to boast. I think I got a bonus because I think my husband is handsome.
Oh, well, thank you. I want to go back to that dating period. And Sharlene said something, and for especially ladies that are listening, communication is key. I think when I first started dating, especially when I was intentional, I did not want to be purposeful. I was happy that if the person I was dating didn't ask me real purposeful questions, because I didn't want to deal with that. And I could tell that they were more concerned that the relationship may not work if they ask a purposeful question. And I want to tell you, if the relationship is worthwhile, it will not be jeopardized by you asking a purposeful question. It doesn't have to mean, are you ready for marriage? No, but simple questions like, what do you want in life? What is your goals? What is your expectations? what's your idea of saving? Or there are the little things that you could ask that could see where this person's mind is, even before you try to set a tone for, and because sometimes you can put too much pressure if you're just dating. You're not going to want to be asking, how much kids do you want? Come on, man, we just start. But at the same time, I do believe having a sense of what is the potential here is, I think it's something that you can never overlook. But very good one. We have another question here that we wanted to get your input on, which is, some people claim dating is hard, especially in 2022. Now, we don't know that much because, it's been a while since I've been dating.
Right. I don't blame you.
Yeah, so, but do you agree or not? And if so, why?
Yeah, well, 2022 no start, but
but in the context, this period, this time.
No, yes, I would say yes, because I have many girlfriends, many acquaintances and whatnot, and I would hear stories and I would observe and stuff. I think it's really tough to find somebody who is genuine and who's not trying to, I don't know if there's such a word, specializingly generalize, if you understand what I mean, because they say generalize before you specialize. But there are people out here who want to specialize and still keep within a realm of generalization, which does be confusing, because it's like, what do you want? You're so confused by this person's actions. They're showing you that they want exclusivity, and then what they are saying is something else, and it's just so hard. And then, well, we're in a situation now where you have to maintain a distance, so it's hard to actually physically meet persons, where I think it's like a way better experience, because that's how we met in person. Because I don't think if we met online, if we had that initial first interaction online, it would have been as meaningful and genuine as it was being in each other's presence and in a group setting, with other friends. So I think it's really hard in terms of that distance-wise, and just feeling out the genuineness of persons, and, just understanding, okay, what is this person like, instead of what they're just showing on social media,
Yeah, and
what about you, Stephen?
I agree that it can be hard, because likewise I have friends, even partners, who, when they come to you and they say, boy, this girl this or this man so, and I'm realizing more and more that we have a lot of information in society, but not so much understanding of what is being put out there. So people, they'll now develop a whole lot of different theories on how things supposed to be, and they want to pattern their dating style after those who they look up to, and not realizing taking the advice from others is not so much a problem. Can it be applied to you? Can it be applied to your situation? So when you factor in all of that, really, what to listen, it's just so hard, and there are so much more other complicated things that will add to the complexity of dating, especially in the time we're living in. And I mean, my gosh, this.
Yeah, and right now a lot of what is being pushed out there is marriage based on business, like it's like a business. It's like business, like, what are you bringing to the table? It's just this abrasive way of just doing things, and it's just getting more like the whole different movements, and now you have different victimizations taking place, so everybody just like walking on eggshells and just at each other, instead of just trusting the process and just being yourself and finding purpose in yourself first before you look for somebody, and not the other way around.
Start working.
Yeah.
I mean, you said two things there that really jumps out to me, especially. Toni said something that really shocked me in that, she said that, it is so difficult, to find someone if it was that you were going to initiate online. And it just made me smile because even back in 19, not so far back.
Just coming
because of a call at age in my dance.
Yeah.
We met online, and I believe because we met online, it led us to be a lot more open and honest with each other because we didn't necessarily know when or if we would actually meet together, and it allowed us to be very frank with each other and so forth. So by the time we met, we felt like we really knew each other because we were very open in our conversation and so forth. But it led to what Stephen said after, which is the way of being real and open with people, because I think it's those two things. Yeah. If you are real with who you are, and Toni said that, if you can really figure out, who you are, where you are, and you could be real with someone, it's a good place to start. Because if there's one thing I wish I was more in my dating phase, I wish I was more honest with myself and honest with the person I was with. I would have saved a lot of time for myself or the person, and stop trying to pretend or try to say what you think the person wants to hear. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay if they don't like the fact that you like this. That's fine. You don't always have to like what that person like, and that you actually will get it from the difference. What about you, Sean? And not, what does it means to date? But
because I felt as if I was being set up when you're talking about dating and substance. Well, I wasn't much of a dater. I didn't really have those sort of stuff, I was too busy shopping. But I do appreciate the points that they brought up, because at least we understand that I think it for different persons, the virtual or the face-to-face would be more important for them, because some persons would be able to function better. But the most important thing is being real or genuine with each other. And if you can't be that with the person or yourself, then you're going to have a problem.
All right. Now, if you're here and you haven't already done so, now is a good time for you to like this video. And if you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. We go live every Thursday evening at 8. So click that notification bell, so when we go live, you will be notified. All right. So we have a definition here, Sharlene, that I want you to just go through for us, and then we're going to discuss.
Dating is a modern-day courtship culture, except it's a stage of romantic relationship where the couples meet socially to see if they stand a chance to be around each other.
All right, so that's a definition we would have shared or found on dating. And we wanted to compare it to a definition we had on the term courting or courtship. So what's the second one?
Courting or courtship is a relationship between a man and a woman in its early development stage, where they get to know each other and develop a deep relationship so that they could purposefully explore the possibility of marriage.
All right, people, that was me. I really should have, copied that up to, a conjunction. But I think she did a good job in showing that was one definition. All right, Toni, Stephen, do you agree, not agree with this definition? I know it was a bit long, but what are your thoughts on the whole concept of dating, courtship? But then we had this whole idea of dating with a purpose. What do you think about those terms?
The dating one, it's
the first one seemed a bit
the romantic part.
Yeah,
I think that's where it becomes like the same seriousness you're talking about. They're like the thing too serious, because I think people put a lot into the basket in the dating phase, right?
Yes.
So, well, the woman perspective,
Yeah.
feelings already invested,
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that should take place more so in courting.
Mhm.
And dating should really be like how long-time persons used to say they used to generalize group dates
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Take time
You
for each other in
iron
different
somebody,
settings.
you iron somebody and they ain't know yet.
Yeah.
But they ain't know yet. And they feel in the room and it's like, let's go hang out with my other sisters and brethren. You want to see them in certain environments and then you make a move, I think that's where the initiation of the romance will come from. But the dating part, I think the romantic part is really more worldly, where it's like, is the we doing thing on the first date because there's a lot of romance and you're flirting and
All
whatnot.
these kind of curves.
Yeah, everything just flowing. So yeah, we holistically agree with that one, but the courting part.
Yeah.
You seem to agree on the courting part, relationship between man and woman.
Yeah, ignore that part where I just totally got that.
Yeah.
That definition.
Yeah. I thank you for putting in that why I was like, that's the definition of the
Because I think in the earliest when we spoke, we were like, okay, what stage are we at? Because it's like, with these different definitions and coming from past relationships where it was like the lack of communication in I find like nothing is wrong with titles because then you get to understand expectations and not to have unrealistic expectations. So tell me what this is.
Yes.
So we went through that phase. So we were like, are we dating? Are we courting? I believe we are not dating based on our understanding of the definition. Because I am not generalizing, you know what I mean? We are not generalizing.
Right. Stephen, are you generalizing? Are you generalizing?
You said something. Yeah, you said something, Toni, that is interesting, and in that some persons put so much in the basket so early that even before you are able to understand and even ask questions or even see the person in different environment, that you jump so much stage that now when it's time to have that conversation, it seems like, why are you asking me that? No, we've already gone past that stage, but we haven't. We haven't gone past that stage. We haven't asked a question, but you have jumped a few steps and introduced some things into the dating relationship that has made it so difficult to have an honest conversation now.
Right.
When it would have been easier to have that conversation when there isn't so much invested. You could really ask general questions that, depending on the answer, you're cool with. You're cool with the answer. There's no right or wrong answer here. But when I've assumed something and the person is now thinking, man, I've given her a particular impression, I now have to follow through on this. Maybe I'm forcing myself in an area that I didn't necessarily was thinking. I think that there's so much in what you just said. What about you, Sean?
I know I'm supporting you. But I was just thinking about us, We had virtual reality, and then I think we jumped into courting.
I mean, because
everyone's
so
different.
much of our relationship were online. We dated. We dated online.
We dated online. We didn't even know we were dated, but we dated online until then, boom, we saw just like, bam, courtship, wedding.
Consensus. Where once again?
Everyone is different. Work for you. Work for everybody else.
I think it is, and that's the context why I was asking, because we were at a stage in our life that we knew what we wanted, and for us, we had to be very clear and we had to be very open with each other. And I think that is really critical. No matter where you are, I think it's very important that you're open and you are honest with each other. You need to be able to put, at least once you've gotten to that stage. And that's why I think it's so important to be able to work through that stage. There are some things you can't lay on the table when you're now dating. You know, it's too heavy for that. But once you've really gotten there, before you make certain critical steps, you have to get to a point that you can be open with certain things. And there's where you can see someone should be able to understand, hey, can I handle this? You know, can I handle this? But it has to be at a point when you've gone through some of those stages.
Yeah.
Our fourth and final question that we wanted to touch on this evening was just, we spoke a lot. We spoke about a wide range of things, but what advice would you give to young adults or just anyone that's really looking to start dating? And we want to say with a purpose. What advice would you give?
You want to go first?
Well, I'm reflecting on when we did mention of the checklist that folks would have. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a list. Now, I think you should carry the list to God and say, Lord, this is what I want, but you know me better than I know myself. So I'm asking you to send for me what I would need, someone that would make me happier in life, and we could be able to accomplish stuff and be ourselves with each other, and more so. I mean, if the ultimate goal is heaven, I mean, I'd like that to be the ultimate thing. So, I mean, take your time and don't rush stuff. Eventually, you're gonna get there, because nowadays, anytime someone or people see you hook up, they feel, okay, when is the wedding? I already buy my dress. I want to dance, and they have a whole line of stuff. And I mean, if that's what you want, where's the house? No one has given, probably the fatted calf, as I like to say. I mean, there are things that have to happen first. So, just take your time.
Yeah. And added to that, I just want to say, purposefulness starts before you even find somebody. And it should transition, and then the person that you are interested in should complement that. Don't form your purpose based on what you want from that person, or, it should start within yourself first. Also, I want the women to understand that men matter too. Men have rights in terms of, what they want and what they need emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I also want to say dating is hard, and from past experience, and to understand that even silence is an answer. Trust me. Never try to force somebody to get to a place where you want them to get to, where you think God wants them to be. That's not your place. You are not the Holy Spirit. You are not Jesus Christ. Right? The most you could do is pray, but you have to listen, and you have to be actively fulfilling what your purpose is and what God has instructed you as an individual. Don't go and try to be a homewrecker. No, I'm being real. I didn't see stories. Don't try to be a homewrecker. Don't try to convert nobody to come over. No. We're not doing that in 2022 and beyond. We are people with purpose, and we are being conscious of what we are. And I just want to say, we always say that communication is key. But communication is a whole language by itself. And I think that when you come to a relationship, you should provide the environment that would allow for that communication to flow and foster. Yeah. Create that environment. And the last thing I will say is, don't look for things that you are not offering. Right? It's unrealistic, it's unfair. So you first have to become what you desire, and the Lord will do the rest.
I just want to tell everyone I love these two young people. They're dear to my heart, and I'm so proud at this moment. I'm sorry. If you see tears on my face, I'm really emotional. I'm just like,
yeah, Sharlene, you sound like you're.
Yeah, I know. I really love them. I really love them. That's all I have to say.
We want to share a scripture text of encouragement for you. We do believe, and I think you would have seen coming out even from Stephen and Toni, that even no matter what stage you're at in this life, God has a purpose for you. And even if you're at a stage where you're looking for the right relationship, God knows your purpose and the person that He wants to have. If you're in that relationship and starting, you're trying to figure out if this is the right place, you can still look. And even if you're looking to move past that courtship or have made that decision, wherever you are, you know, there is a purpose for your life, and God wants you to find that. Our scripture of encouragement this evening is taken from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not evil, and to give you an expected end." All right. Sharlene, any closing thoughts?
Just remember, one of the points that Stephen highlighted is that you would have your list, but your list could be biased or prejudiced. Put it to God. Let God decide what is best for you. Because as I mentioned, I had my list, but I decided that the first thing should be on my list is a spiritual man, a man who is God-fearing, because I knew without God in the presence, nothing could work. And always make sure that you present it before God and let God do the choosing for you. And God will find the right person. And also, remember, you need to be ready to accept whatever Christ is going to present to you. So don't put yourself in a position where you're not ready and then upset when it doesn't work out in the way that you expect it to.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us this evening on the topic dating with a purpose. Again, if you haven't already liked this video, please do so now. Click that subscribe button and click that notification bell. So when we post more videos like this, you'll be notified. And of course, if you think of someone that might be able to use this content, share it with them. You might definitely be able to help them avoid some of the mistakes that they may be even on the verge of doing. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next live.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.